Welcome to this video on selecting new client case management software, specifically taking a look at Apricot 360 by Social Solutions. I appreciate your interest in this topic. Thank you for joining. My name is Jeff Hagwood. I'm an Apricot software consultant at Sidekick Solutions. Sidekick Solutions is a certified Apricot implementation partner and helps organizations make the most of the Apricot platform. Today's topic is of particular interest, and I'm excited to share some insights because I believe that client case management software is a key piece of technology in your organization or your agency's technology stack. This video is going to take a look at what is client case management software, some of the signs that the time might be right to explore new software, what to look for in new client case management software, and then we're going to take a look at some of the top features of Apricot 360, again, a product by Social Solutions. We'll summarize with some key takeaways and next steps. I do want to emphasize that this video is not a demonstration of Apricot 360, but takes a look at some of the key considerations that you might make in a purchasing decision when exploring multiple options for client case management software. All right, let's dive in. To start, I think it's important to set the philosophy for how I'm approaching this video and some of the information that's contained within it. I believe strongly that software, or quote-unquote technology, is essential to delivering quality programs and services to individuals and families. This is especially true when the goal is to improve client outcomes. And I suspect that you're watching this video because you feel similarly, or you operate from a similar set of values. So with that, let's take a little closer look at client case management software and what we should be thinking about in making decisions related to this type of software. Client case management software is operational software designed for organizations that provide programs and services to individuals and families. Case management software plays a pivotal role in a nonprofit organization's technology stack. Our goals for client case management software are to coordinate programs, services, and client interventions and ensure high client engagement in our model for client outcomes. We also have the goal to track and report on client outcomes so that we can determine if we are successful in helping clients achieve their goals. We're using client case management software to aggregate data, run reports, and measure organizational performance so we can improve holistically our programs and services. We're also using this type of software to maintain data and compliance standards, whether those are enforced by funders, accreditation, community partners, or other entities. Lastly, we're using this type of software to secure important client data and information. While most organizations have CRM software for managing donors and constituents, operations software for client case management is less common. Paper forms, tally sheets, Excel spreadsheets, and legacy database software are often used for tracking clients and counting services. But as programs are evolving and the rigor with which we solve community needs and address client challenges intensify, the business case for client case management software gets stronger and stronger. I often find organizations looking to adopt new client case management software are adopting this type of software for the first time. As a result, it'll be helpful to identify some of the pressures that move organizations to implement new client case management software. Each of these reasons is what I would call a tipping point. The first sign that you may be ready for modern client case management software is that your team spends too much time on inefficient processes. Multiple systems, too much paper, even manual or even tedious work, all of which are a drain on staff time and energy. Ultimately, time-consuming, inefficient processes keep staff from engaging clients, providing services, and improving program performance towards outcomes. Generally, we find that time-consuming, inefficient processes fall into three buckets: data collection, reporting, and day-to-day workload management. Admin, coordination, paperwork, counting and scoring, stats sheets, all these manual processes associated with data collection take away from time that could be spent with clients. Converting paper files into electronic records and then using technology to streamline data collection is an obvious and is often the primary reason to adopt new client case management software. If you're looking for an electronic record, that's likely why you're looking for client case management software. Building paper case files in and of itself takes time, but it also makes reporting a Herculean effort. Tally sheets and custom Excel systems are required to parse through disparate systems and paper-based records, all of which are not ideal. Interns, volunteers, and admin staff are often called in to support these reporting tasks, but it's an uphill battle. Even if those resources are free or low cost, without a clear data model and reporting infrastructure to back it up, we have very little ability to report on client outcomes. Additionally, if you're using multiple systems that are too reliant on paper-based processes, even when Excel drives analytics, each caseworker and direct service staff member is likely using their own systems to manage day-to-day workload. If your organization relies on Outlook tasks, paper-based systems, Post-it notes, or you feel like every caseworker is operating from a different playbook, that may be time to move to new client case management software. These systems create inconsistent procedures in program delivery and also promote what I call rogue spreadsheet culture, because each person is left to organize their own systems to get their work done. We often find that staff are having to manage their workload without the support of organizational tools or approaches, and that can lead to inconsistency. Funder or accreditation data collection, reporting, and compliance requirements are also top reasons to invest in client case management software, especially if an organization is challenged by inconsistent data practices. If you do not have proper record management and reporting systems in place, you may not comply with requirements out of the gate. If you do get past the initial requirements without the proper record management and reporting systems, you may spend significant amounts of time on manual reporting and manual compliance tasks. We've found that the need for client case management software increases as the density and complexity of compliance continue to increase, especially if you're operating a multi-site and multi-program operation. A lack of standard operating procedures, or SOPs, can lead to fragmented data, which often leads to the inability to apply or qualify for specific types of funding, needing to shape new processes for year-end reporting or audits with each new funding stream, building custom report mashups from multiple sources, and even report deadline scrambles. Each of us has been in one of those. When these symptoms reach a tipping point, new client case management software is an opportunity to implement a consistent data model, record management, and operating procedures around a single software tool. Lastly, we come to performance initiatives, and this is a final tipping point. Do managers or your direct service staff ever ask important questions that can't be answered with the current systems you have in place? You may even aspire to conduct an evaluation on your program model someday. Performance initiatives are often a spark for new client case management software, especially as teams' curiosity in data increases, or a new strategic plan is installed, or even if you find new domain research that supports a change in your team's approach to program delivery. Organizations will often find urgency for new systems when their reporting requirements evolve beyond basic demographics, enrollment, and service counts. When you move into outcomes, pre-post scoring, goal achievement or non-achievement, and potentially even long-term impact reporting, These higher levels of insight require more sophisticated software. This may eventually prompt a program evaluation or even support performance management practices and continuous improvement initiatives. Now, whether program evaluation is on your radar or not, organizational goals to measure client outcomes are a positive indicator of a need for more sophisticated data systems. Now, on a related note, our team promotes a concept called performance-based programs and practices. Generally, we characterize performance-based as the ability to collect data and measure program outcomes and the indicators that lead to positive outcomes, and demonstrate that over time, continuously improving outcomes via positive trends in performance. Now, we believe this concept because with modern client case management software and a performance-based approach, an organization has the philosophy in place to measure performance and test whether the assumptions of their program model are right or wrong. Additionally, performance-based principles can lead to innovation, and to that end can help you demonstrate your program model. We're fans of organizations taking control of their own data, their own systems, and their own reporting to grow and improve. Your own client case management platform can support those initiatives and those approaches. These reasons for new client case management software are a bit self-evident. Sure, they make sense. There's no doubt there. And experiencing challenges, pain points, and friction in the delivery of your programs and services, regardless of the presenting causes, generally prompt the discussion for new software. Even the positives of improving client outcomes is a contributor to why you might be looking for client case management software. So why did we bring up all of these ideas? The bottom line is that our hope in client case management software is that you'll spend less time on paperwork and processes and more time on delivering services to clients. You can improve the service delivery of your programs with performance management systems that leverage data, reporting, and analytics. And you can use data to demonstrate the impact that you're making so you can increase funding opportunities and grow your organization. Those three things combined are a strong opportunity for organizations providing services to individuals and families in our communities. To continue this exploration, let's transition from the why we need client case management software question to the what we need client case management software to do. We'll explore the what of client case management software from two angles. First, we'll cover the 4 key principles to expect in any client case management software. And second, we'll highlight some of the top features of Apricot 360, a social solutions product for client case management. Let's start with the 4 key principles to expect from client case management software. Number 1, it's configurable. Number 2, it's workflow enabled. Number 3, it's report ready. And number 4, it's secure and gives you control over your data. We've worked with hundreds of organizations and their client case management software. Each one of those systems was customized to the program workflows, the service delivery models, and the reporting requirements of each organization. While a template platform may offer a foundation and a starting point for your client case management system, you will need a configured system that addresses your program or logic model, your outcomes goals, your theory of change, and your services and interventions. You need a business application that's specific to your organization. Let's take a look at a few examples of what you might need to configure in your custom business application for case management. Example use cases that require a configurable solution include intakes, client profiles, and custom demographics. You may also need custom grouping for cases, households, and families. You may operate a multi-program or site enrollment structure to track participation in a program from start to end. You may need to track individual service, education, or intervention plans and monitor those plans towards goal outcomes. Additionally, you may need to track goals met, not met, analyze goal progress and milestone achievement. You may have pre-post assessments and assessments at interval that you need to track, screenings, evaluations, case notes and status updates. You may need to track activities, including service coding and counts for billing purposes. You may run classes or cohorts and need scheduling, registration, attendance, and topic tracking. You may even be out in the community, deploying outreach and prevention activities, events, and community gatherings. The nuts and bolts of the logistics of your program may require client releases, supervisor approvals, compliance workflows. Referrals made to community providers and partners, you may want to follow up on those and track outcomes. You may even need to manage staff volunteer or mentor matching with a youth program. You may also need to track and collect satisfaction surveys, both identified and anonymous. And this isn't even an exhaustive list, but it illustrates the range of functionality that client case management platforms must address under one roof. Your organization, its programs, and your approach are unique. You'll need a system that can be configured to align with those unique qualities. Additionally, the software must be able to model your evaluation plan, your theory of change, or your logic model. What if your model changes? The software must be able to scale and evolve as your organization evolves. This is why any platform must be configurable. The right client case management software should also be a tool for your staff on the ground, specifically your program directors, managers, and direct service staff. We need client case management software to support the day-to-day of organizing caseloads, working with clients, and it needs to enable automation to keep all users aligned with the program's model. We'd call that program fidelity. Program directors should look to client case management software to support staff supervision, client case reviews, prompting for approvals or attention on flagged cases, benchmark monitoring, and potentially address incomplete procedures that service staff have missed. On the other side, direct service staff should look to client case management software to support caseload management, to-dos and reminders, individual service plan tracking and coordination, prescriptive or predictive next steps, and even automated task completion to take tasks off of their heavy workloads. Client case management software is not, and let me emphasize that, is not a data entry portal. While data entry is one way that we engage with this type of software, the system should also streamline the daily flow of work. A large part of your day-to-day experience with client case management software is data entry. Activity logs, evaluations and assessments, updates to client status, attendance tracking, case notes, all of that builds data sets within your client case management platform. But the payoff is the information that comes from the data collection. Reports organize data into information, context, and meaning. Reporting, analytics, and business intelligence platforms included with or attached to any client case management software vary widely from system to system. So it's difficult to cover the full range of reporting suites that may be available to you in this presentation. But here are a few pointers to keep in mind. Just pay attention to and differentiate between two types of reports. Number one, standard reports are pre-built reports that come with the software out of the box. Standard reports are nice to have, but likely won't cover the full scope of what you need for reporting because your client case management software will be custom for your programs and services. Custom ad hoc reporting will have higher priority than standard reports. Ad hoc reports, on the other hand, are run on demand using custom reporting and analytics tools. Changing reporting requirements and new questions that need to be answered with data make ad hoc reporting a necessity. Even if the software comes with standard reports, make sure that you can run ad hoc reports using the system's reporting tools. You can use this rule of thumb when thinking about reporting for new client case management software. To start, standard reports are great if available, and they can be copied or versioned for modification. This is largely a low priority, but it may encapsulate some standard reports that match your compliance requirements. These pre-built reports might streamline your reporting practices, maybe they're related to VOCA or HMIS, and these fall into a bucket of pre-built reports that will likely not be customized heavily to match any future reporting requirements. Second, prioritize an ad hoc query builder at a minimum, with an understanding that you'll rely on Excel to produce reports from there. Now, with those two things in mind, we strongly encourage all organizations to prioritize business intelligence or custom report designers, where practical, in their client case management solutions. The reason why we recommend that is that the scope of reporting possibilities is much larger than standard reports or ad hoc query builders, because data sets expand in density, and you'll need business intelligence tools to unpack and analyze that data, especially as you're configuring a custom solution. So in summary, standard reports at the baseline, query builder to help you to filter and get data sets out of the system, preferably and high priority to have a report designer or business intelligence tools built into the platform. As a side note, you may also want to assess how a particular software option relies on external data tools, such as Excel, for reporting and data analytics. How much data analysis can happen in the software itself, and how much must be done outside the software in a tool like Excel. That's an important thing to keep in mind. Using Excel as a reporting and analytics tool isn't necessarily a negative for a particular software option, but it is important to differentiate between the ability to export data from the software and the ability to report and analyze data in the software. The final key point for any client case management software is data security and the control over your data. The need for data security is a given with client case management software. This presentation is not going to cover the standards and certifications you might explore in new client case management software because 1, that varies by solution, 2, it depends on the programs you deliver and the data you store, and 3, it's also dependent on your organization's legal requirements for data security. However, I do want to cover the features and controls you might look for within a platform. First, document and attachment management. In adopting new client case management software, you will have a goal to reduce paper. However, some files cannot be eliminated completely. You may need to scan photo identification, sign releases, or accept referrals from other providers with paper files. Long term, you'll want to reduce these paper files as much as possible, but attachments will likely remain a reality for new client case management software, especially at initial deployment. You'll want to answer a few questions. Where can you upload files in the software? Where are they stored? How do you access those files once they're stored there? Is there a preview option or must they be downloaded from that location? Can you get those attachments in bulk or batch? Are there any limitations to what you can attach in the software? Are there size limitations or file type limitations? The second part of data security is permissions, specifically security profiles. Modern case management software has the ability to show staff only what they are assigned to in order to maintain tight parameters around access. This generally comes in 2 ways: permissions and profiles and record assignment. Permissions and profiles restrict access to features within the software, i.e., what users can do. An example being whether a user can complete intakes or not, or whether a user can complete an assessment or not. This may also be relevant to administrator roles, such as users who can write reports versus those who can only enter data. Record assignment, on the other hand, restricts access to records within the software, i.e., what the users can see. An example being whether a user can see intakes to a specific program. So while they may be able to see all intakes for a particular batch for clients generally, maybe they can only see the intakes for the youth program as opposed to the family program. Permissions and profiles govern the roles staff may carry within the organization, while record assignment governs which client records and which programs they can access while in the system. You can think of record level access like caseload access. Permissions are also how you will manage a multi-site and multi-program system, which is especially important for larger community-based organizations, public sector agencies, or multi-agency collaboratives that are all using the same software license. Lastly, we want to ensure that any system gives you control over your data. We call this data control. You always own your data in client case management software, and that's not what I'm getting at here. It's more, what can you do with your data? At Sidekick Solutions, we prioritize the ability to import data, update and modify data, export data, and remove data. These capabilities should be available both within the license itself and be integration ready for custom connections with other third-party tools. The reason we promote data control is that when we purchase client case management software, we don't want any limitations over our ability to access and manage the software end-to-end. Full control over the ability to import, update and modify, export and remove records, along with the ability to create custom connections and integrations with third-party tools, gives us a full suite of capability to manage our client case management system end-to-end. With those abilities, we can cleanse existing data, we can enrich the system with external data sets, we can manage data health and data quality, and we can get at the data on demand. It's important to note that some systems will limit what you're able to do with your data to maintain security standards, but overall, those functionalities are what we mean by data control. Now, before we dive into feature highlights of Apricot 360, I'd like to leave you with an additional thought, or fifth general feature to consider when exploring new client case management software. Does the technology enable your practice? So what does this mean? Most organizations find that in order to become more data informed, paper forms and spreadsheets just won't cut it. The promise of client case management software is to organize and manage data for outcomes, but we cannot forget that we need the software to also reinforce your program model practices too, also known as program fidelity. In practical terms, modern case management software isn't a database. It's a business application. That business application is used to define, deploy, and manage program standards and program quality. So again, any client case management software that we're looking at purchasing should enable your practice day to day and keep your model to program fidelity. Now let's take a look at how Apricot 360 addresses some of these core areas by highlighting some of its key features. Apricot 360 is a modern client case management software for nonprofits, public sector agencies, and collaboratives, and represents an enterprise-level solution from Social Solutions. Now, the purpose of this presentation is to highlight the core functionality we look for in modern client case management software. We encourage every organization looking for new software to request and attend a customized demo of Apricot 360 to see how the software could really work for your organization. But this presentation is going to hit some of the high points and reassure you that Apricot as an enterprise-level solution can deploy a solid client case management software for your organization or agency. First, Apricot gives administrators complete control over the data model, including a drag-and-drop form designer for customizing data entry screens, enforcing conditional data entry logic, and linking data elements within the platform. Whether you're deploying an evidence-based program or practice, or you're modeling your organization's own logic model and theory of change into a data system, you need control over the architecture of the data model. This is not a feature that every client case management software gives you. Out of the box, Apricot lets you design your data model, and as your data model evolves, you have full control over updates and changes to that model. This is an incredibly powerful feature in Apricot 360. Once the data model for your Apricot is in place, users need support in navigating the data model efficiently. We talked about client case management software enabling your practice. Workflow tools support users so they hit each step in their process with high quality. Apricot also has the ability to navigate staff through preset workflows, illustrated here on the right. Workflows are conditional, using prompting logic to guide users from step to step. Apricot has this workflow module that provides progress indicators for either sequential or conditional order. This tool can be used for intake and eligibility, applications matching, or task completion and tracking. We found that the following procedures can generally be structured with conditional workflow in Apricot 360, although we recognize that service delivery often requires some organic discovery and navigation and may not be prescriptive in a workflow. There are some procedures that do follow step-by-step procedures. Things like inbound referral processing, intake and eligibility, needs assessment and case planning, inventories and evaluations, and even service coordination with referral partners. Apricot 360 also gives you the ability to design front-end dashboards per user, per program, or site-wide, like caseloads, follow-up reminders, or needs assessments that are required in a task-based format, so users can take next steps immediately upon logging in. And there's an image of that here on the right. Custom data linking and auto-populate features also take data entry off case managers' plates so they can lean into workflow tools in Apricot 360 and spend more direct service time with clients. If you're a multi-site, multi-program agency, a public sector agency, or a collaborative, you need tight security controls both at login and within the platform. That means segmenting caseloads to only certain programs, enabling features by user role, and ensuring users see what is relevant to their day-to-day work and nothing else. You may even have specific data security requirements governed by a BAA, HIPAA, or FERPA. All of those controls are things that you may need to program into your site to ensure that users see the tools they need, the data they need, and nothing else. Apricot 360 comes with enterprise-level segmentation of permission sets and roles by site, by program, and by user role, along with the ability to segment users by administrator capabilities so that you can have separate report writers, you can have separate data quality managers, you can have separate evaluation managers, all accessing different parts of the database and the platform with different functionality and requirements. All of this combines into enterprise-level permission controls so that you can secure your site. Reporting is a key condition of any client case management software purchase decision. Apricot comes with a range of reporting solutions to support your goals and performance measurement. The Apricot 360 platform comes with a native report builder, native data visualizations, a batch export tool, as well as the SAP Business Objects Webby solution, also known as Apricot Results. This full suite of reporting tools is a robust enterprise-level reporting platform that lets you analyze data in nearly any segmentation and any look at your data that you can imagine. These reports can be deployed to end users to run on demand. These reports can also be deployed as templates, so you don't have to rebuild reports every quarter or annually to meet funding and compliance reporting requirements. In total, Apricot 360 provides a lot of horsepower in reporting and analytics, especially with its Apricot Results Suite and its native report designer. Now, we believe that automation solutions and integrations are essential to your case manager experience. Technology should help you do more with less effort. Case works hard, especially when tracking and noting everything in paper forms. It's also hard because there is a lot of paperwork to account for in data entry. Aggregating data, managing follow-ups, making decisions for interventions based on data, these are all heavy lifts if our technology is not enabling those steps. Apricot 360 gives you automation and integrated tools to support program management and service delivery, including web deployable data collection forms, client portal, which allows you to direct message clients via text message or email, integrated calendars for G Suite and Outlook, batch imports that can handle data files with thousands of rows of data, and automated integration solutions and custom development potential, which greatly expands the capabilities of Apricot 360 for integrations with SIS and other third-party data systems. Aside from Apricot's ease of use and high marks for end-user satisfaction, Apricot 360 boasts an industry-leading administrator backend. Administrators have complete and total control over the design and deployment of the application in your organization. Why is that important? Any limitation over the design and deployment of a client case management solution can severely limit your ability to grow and evolve with a data platform. Not to mention, it can cost more in funds, dollars, as well as time, effort, and energy to deploy new solutions when your organization shifts strategy, which happens. Initial implementation is never the end journey with Apricot. There are no limitations on the design and deployment of the Apricot platform, and that is one of its true strengths. Apricot's administrator backend gives you 100% control over every facet of the software. You do not need a super user or vendor-supported solution to deploy and configure your Apricot platform. You have the ability to design the application with a form designer, a report designer. You have business intelligence tools. You have data quality and assurance management tools. You have permissions and access requirements. You have the ability to import and export your data. You can design workflows and use web-deployed tools like the Connect portal and web forms. You can update your data. You can add and remove users. To its name, Apricot is a 360-degree business application that can be configured to your unique use case. Pairing the back-end access is the ability to scale the application. Within your license, you can build as many forms, user groups, reports, and applications or programs as you need. As your programs expand and evolve, you have the ability to scale up the solution. You can add more users. You can add more capability. Apricot 360 is hosted on AWS. It's fast, it's responsive, it's mobile ready, and it can scale up as your organization grows. Because you have full access to the administrator backend, rapid deployment of new applications within the Apricot environment are completely within your reach. In total, Apricot 360 gives us the ability to create custom business applications for client case management focus. Now that's only scratching the surface of what Apricot can do, and I'm hitting the high points. I would encourage anyone who's interested in Apricot 360 to reach out to us, schedule a demo, or explore more of the content and resources we have on Apricot. We are big fans of Apricot 360 and think that it is an enterprise-level platform that's ready to support nearly every organization that deploys a direct service program in their community. Now, my goal here today is to explore the keys for new client case management software, including the reasons you might be ready for new software, things to consider in your search, and the features that demonstrate the power of a modern client case management platform like Apricot 360 by Social Solutions. Ultimately, we need actionable next steps and recommendations for what you can do next, because there's a lot to digest, admittedly. So what can you do to prepare for new software and the implementation that's coming? I'll leave you with 4 to-dos in next steps. The first is you can clarify your program, the logic and outcomes of your service model, the activities and inputs, outputs and outcomes, even the impact that you hope to achieve. What do we know about the population we serve? What do we hope to achieve in our program? Answer those questions. Write them out. Get some narratives going. Boot up a simple Word doc and start brainstorming some of the ideas that form the basis of your strategy and what you hope to achieve with client outcomes. Second, define the program and service workflows that you have. What are the steps that a client will follow from initial intake through enrollment to exit? What about post-exit and follow-up in your program? What steps are you going to follow, or your case manager is going to follow to deliver service? All of those things come together to define how you would automate and workflow in an application like Apricot 360. Number 3, organize resources for required investment. I'm not just talking about cost. Obviously, money is a component when investing in client case management software, but I'm also talking about the time, the energy that's required, the staff commitment, the change management that's required to get a solution like this off the ground. Those investments are going to be one time. They're also going to be ongoing. You need to think about what adopting new systems is going to take and the investments in change management that's required. And lastly, conduct a system needs assessment. What's in place now? Are there strengths and weaknesses in the tools that you currently use? What's your vision for a new system? Both the need to have and the nice to have. Write out your assessment to clarify your purpose in getting new client case management software. I recommend these next steps because they are the steps we follow in supporting our clients in searching for, selecting, and implementing new client case management software. That ultimately concludes what I wanted to cover in this video and taking a strong look at modern client case management software with Apricot 360. To learn more about Apricot 360 or Apricot Core or any of the Apricot platforms, you can explore our YouTube channel or visit our website at sidekicksolutionsllc.com/apricot. Also, if you like our approach to Apricot or our look at how you might select client case management software and would like to work with us, please do send us an email at info@sidekicksolutionsllc.com. Our door is always open. Thank you, and I appreciate you watching.